The SpaceX South Texas launch site, sometimes referred to by SpaceX as Starbase or Boca Chica launch site, is a private rocket production facility, test site, and spaceport constructed by SpaceX, located at Boca Chica, approximately 32 kilometers east of Brownsville, Texas, on the U.S. Gulf Coast. When conceptualized, its stated purpose was to provide SpaceX an exclusive launch site that would allow the company to accommodate its launch manifest and meet tight launch windows. The launch site was originally intended to support launches of the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles, as well as a variety of reusable suborbital launch vehicles. But in early 2018, SpaceX announced a change of plans, stating that the launch site would be used exclusively for SpaceX's next-generation launch vehicle, Starship. Between 2018 and 2020, the site added significant rocket production and test capacity. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk indicated in 2014 that he expected commercial astronauts, private astronauts, to be departing from South Texas, and he foresaw launching spacecraft to Mars from the site. Between 2012 and 2014, SpaceX considered 7 potential locations around the United States for the new commercial launch facility. Generally, for orbital launches, an ideal site would have an easterly water overflight path for safety and be located as far south as possible in order to take advantage of the Earth's rotational speed. For much of this period, a parcel of land adjacent to Boca Chica Beach near Brownsville, Texas, was the leading candidate location. During an extended period while the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, by July 2014, SpaceX announced in August 2014 that they had selected the location near Brownsville as the location for the new non-governmental launch site, after the final environmental assessment completed and environmental agreements were in place by July 2014. An orbital launch of the Starship would make it SpaceX's 4th active launch facility, following 3 launch locations that are leased from the U.S. government. SpaceX conducted a groundbreaking ceremony on the new launch facility in September 2014, and soil preparation began in October 2015. The first tracking antenna was installed in August 2016, and the first propellant tank arrived in July 2018. In late 2018, construction ramped up considerably, and the site saw the fabrication of the first 9 diameter prototype test vehicle, Starhopper, which was tested and flown March-August 2019. Through 2021, additional prototype flight vehicles are being built at the facility for higher altitude tests. By March 2020, there were over 500 people employed at the facility, with most of the workforce involved in 24/7 production operations for the second-generation SpaceX launch vehicle, Starship. Private discussions between SpaceX and various state officials about a future private launch site began at least as early as 2011, and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk mentioned interest in a private launch site for their commercial launches in a speech in September 2011. The company publicly announced in August 2014 that they had decided on Texas as the location for their new non-governmental launch site. Site soil work began in 2015 and major construction of facilities began in late 2018, with rocket engine testing with flight testing beginning in 2019. The name Starbase began to be used more widely by SpaceX after March 2021, when SpaceX had some discussions described as a casual inquiry about incorporating a city to be called Starbase. For further information, see Boca_Chica_ Starbase_Texas. As early as April 2012, at least 5 potential locations were publicly known, including sites in Alaska, California, Florida, Texas, and Virginia. In September 2012, it became clear that Georgia and Puerto Rico were also interested in pursuing the new SpaceX commercial spaceport facility. The Camden County, Georgia Joint Development Authority voted unanimously in November 2012 to explore developing an aerospaceport facility at an Atlantic coastal site to support both horizontal and vertical launch operations. The main Puerto Rico site under consideration at the time was land that had formerly been the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station, 87. By September 2012, SpaceX was considering 7 potential locations for the new commercial launch pad around the United States. For much of the time since, the leading candidate location for the new facility was a parcel of land adjacent to Boca Chica Beach near Brownsville, Texas. By early 2013, Texas remained the leading candidate for the location of the new SpaceX commercial launch facility. Although Florida, Georgia and other locations also remained in the running, legislation was introduced in the Texas legislature to enable temporary closings of state beaches during launches, limit liability for noise and some other specific commercial spaceflight risks, as well as considering a package of incentives to encourage SpaceX to locate at the Browns.